looks like they were red boxes.
Yes. Jak and Daxter are renting movies. Hello and welcome to Retro Game Connect. I'm Dan Mastriani.
And I am Ian Butterfield.
And Ian, I know you're very excited today because we're getting to do what you kept saying. Hey, let's do this. Let's do this. Yes,
I think
we're
I've
doing
been
it.
saying this for years.
We are doing a 3-part special on the Jak and Daxter games, starting with the original Jak and Daxter. Now, we don't have the original PS2 versions, so we're going to be playing. Are they actually remastered? They're just kind of straight.
They're touched up.
They're touched
not,
up.
Yeah, they're remastered with just like a little bit of touch up. Granted, the PS4 versions have ran kind of weird. It's a little bizarre.
I'm trying to think. Are they like are they like PS2 classics release? Like I know they did that with other games.
Are technically a remaster.
Okay.
It's just there was a weird bit of jank in porting it.
Yeah.
That I mean I don't notice it too much, but for the most part, it's a really good representation of what it was like to play it on the PS2 back in the day.
I've heard people say that the PS3 remasters were actually better, which is awkward.
That has been the consensus, but I do not own a PlayStation 3.
Yeah, this is what we have.
Yep.
I do own a PlayStation 3, but I don't own the game. So
yep.
Here's where we're at. So let's go ahead and get into the first game.
Hell yeah. Let's go. I always loved that intro.
And I've never seen it before. Oh, there we go. We got our title screen. Both Jak and Daxter get billing in this one.
Yep. All right. Double check any options.
Yeah. So while you're doing that, oh yeah, you can look at they have all the languages, even in the US version. They actually kind of built the game with localization in mind. So like all the text is easy to swap out, so they didn't have to bug check the game individually for each language. At least not the basic game. You sure this isn't just the PS2 classic release?
I'm telling you, I bought all 4 of them in a remastered pack. They're just not heavily remastered.
It's still talking about saving the PS2 memory card. There was the PS2.
Yeah, they didn't update it. But let Samos talk. I've played a lot of these games. They just leave it like that.
Who were the Precursors? Why did they create the vast monoliths that litter our planet? How did they harness eco?
I guess a layout because there's no subtitles.
What was their purpose? And why did they vanish? I have asked the plants, but they do not remember. The plants have asked the rocks, but the rocks do not recall. Even the rocks do not recall. Every bone in my body tells me that the answers rest on the shoulders of a young boy. Oblivious to his destiny, uninterested in the search for truth, and rejecting of my guidance. And why would he want to listen to old Samos the Sage anyway? I'm only the master of green eco, one of the wisest men on the planet.
Yeah, enjoy Human Daxter while you can.
Yep.
With careful research or sensible thinking. Nay, as with many of fate's mysteries, it begins with but a small act of disobedience.
Hey, Jak, old green stuff told us not to come here.
Oh, we're in game now.
Nope.
No?
Nope.
Oh, I thought we were shifted to the in-game engine because of the camera switch.
I'm pretty sure it's all in-game engine.
I did see some things talking about how they were doing cutscenes. Like they were very video gamey to start, kind of like painting, centering it on people's faces and having them talk instead of using like pans and cinematic camera angles. So that's something they moved it more toward as development went on.
Anyway, Jack? This place gives me the
This is some important setup though, so like.
Yeah.
Huh? Oh, stupid precursor junk. Eek! What is that dark ooze? It sure don't look friendly.
The way he says ooze.
The sage yaps on about the precursors that built this place all the time. Where did they go? Why did they build this crap? Now, I like precursor orbs and power cells as much as the next guy. But if you ask me, they must have been real losers. Wow! How did you do that?
Like, did you see that log rolling behind them? Like,
I missed the log.
This is part of the game map eventually.
Well, that was awkward.
Man, that stung. I told you we shouldn't have come here, and you listened. What?
I mean, it is kind of amusing that he doesn't notice that Jack is suddenly like twice his size.
Fine. I'm fine.
This game has a sense of humor.
Yeah. And of course, Jack was still a silent protagonist in this one.
I was.
Don't tell me. Instead of heeding my wisdom, the two of you went mucking around in the only place that I told you not to go. Misty Island.
That's right. And then.
And, Daxter, you finally took a much-needed bath, but in a bathtub filled with dark eco.
Look, old man. Are you gonna keep yapping, or are you gonna help me out of this mess?
I'm gonna keep yapping, because in my professional opinion, the change is an improvement. And besides, I couldn't help you if I wanted to.
What?
There's only one person who has studied Dark Eco long enough to have a chance at returning you to your previous form. Carl Acheron, the Sage. But he lives far to the north. Far, far to the north. Nobody has spoken to him in ages. I would teleport you there, but I can't do that either. None of the three sages that maintain the other teleporter gates have seen fit to turn their ends on for quite a while. The only other way north is by foot through the Fire Canyon, but its volcanic soil is hot enough to melt precursor metal. You can't just walk through it.
But you could fly over it if you had a zoomer equipped with a heat shield. I just happen to be working on such a thing at this very moment. All I would need is 20 power cells to give it enough energy to withstand the canyon's heat. Isn't that right, Daddy?
Yes, Kira, that might work. But where are a boy and a half going to get 20 power cells?
From the villagers. Most of them have a power cell or two stashed away somewhere. And
Wow,
even
there's
if
a lot of
they're going to
exposition.
give them away,
Oh, yeah.
Greasing their palms with a few precursor orbs should do the trick. And I bet they're even
Conveniently
more than
explaining
out
everything you're about to be
just
doing.
waiting for some
Oh, yeah.
brave adventurer to find.
Well, we've got the brave adventurer at least.
Brave adventurer! You two couldn't find your way out of the village without training. Before you do anything else, you better go through the warp gate and get some practice on Geyser Rock.
We won't find any more of that dark gooey eco stuff, will we? Cause I'd hate to fall in again and turn into you.
Get in there before I turn you both into ferns.
That has to be one of my favorite threats ever. Just before I turn you both into ferns. Alright.
Yeah, now you're moving.
Groovy.
Yeah, you got your various stuff to collect.
I'm trying to see if I can find subtitles, but I don't see any.
I don't think it has them.
Which is weird, because the other games, when you can turn them on mid-cutscene by, like, hitting square.
Yeah, I think I saw somebody complaining about it not having them. I don't know why.
So, funny enough, none of these same punch sound effects will end up making it to Jak 2.
So what I do know is that they kind of wanted to do something different for PlayStation 2. Like, Crash Bandicoot had been a character created specifically for the PS1.
Yep.
So without those limitations, they wanted to do something different on PS2. Since they didn't have to worry about the various graphical considerations that led them to design Crash in the way they did.
Funny enough, one of the semi-piranha plant-like creatures from from Crash Bandicoot is in Samos's hut.
But another thing about it, of course, is that Universal owned Crash Bandicoot. And, Sony had put, a lot of money into promoting Crash Bandicoot. It kind of was like the PlayStation's mascot. And then Universal just took them and put them on everything.
This is a power cell.
So they didn't really want that happening again. So they're like, okay, guys, now that you're out of your publishing deal with Universal, how about you do something new for us? And with Naughty Dog also wanting to do something new, it kind of worked out.
Wait. First power cell.
There we go.
Dance time. Literally every time you get a power cell in this game, they will dance.
Nice. Yeah, but along the way, though, of course, also they ended up selling the company to Sony because, budgets were going up, and they kind of felt it offered them more stability. Plus, Sony was now in the position of okay, we own this new character, so we don't have to worry about somebody taking off with it.
There's a lot of explanation going on in the early part of this game. So
I mean, you know what all it is, though, right?
I know, but I want other people to be able to hear it.
Okay.
I know we're given information, but I want to make sure everybody gets all the information. Because, so right here, so all these little green floaties, this is our first encounter with Green Eco, which basically acts as a stand-in for your health. Yep, so he's given some exposition there. You actually get pretty much all of your movement options right away in the game. Where it's circle button does the spin attack, square is a punch, but you can also square and X to jump and do an uppercut, or you can jump and punch to do a dive bomb attack, and then the spin attack actually helps suspend you in midair. Ooh,
I do love that Daxter's holding on the whole time.
Oh yeah. So when it comes to other movement things and just designs with the game, so if you'll notice when you punch, his fist grows bigger. Even when he spin attacks, his foot grows bigger. And Daxter has so many animations based solely on holding on to him. One of the things they wanted to do was make...
That's Blue Eco, which contains the energy of motion. Blue Eco allows you to run fast, break boxes, and even activate some Precursor artifacts when you get near them.
But they wanted to stylize it so that way people, it became more obvious sort of what was going on. I love the very stereotypical power-up noise.
Now each Blue Eco cluster you pick up increases the time you can use its power.
I appreciate it also allows you to collect stuff from further away.
Oh yes. There are entire sections based on doing that.
Yeah. But they have that squash and stretch style animation, which is one of their influences are those classic Warner Brother cartoons.
Yep.
while channeling blue eco through your body.
And it's funny because there's
That's a blue eco vent. More
there's
concentrated than the floating clusters. This vent will give you a full charge of blue
5
eco
main
ready to
types
use
of
it for the
eco that
maximum
you
time.
encounter throughout this game, and then there's actually a 6th introduced right at the last second. You have blue, green, yellow, red, dark, and light.
Yeah.
And actually, I love the dancing.
Good work.
Once you
Door to open. With blue eco,
funny enough, the light eco actually would end up not making an appearance in Jak 2.
years.
Oh yeah, you don't get the light eco form until Jak 3, right?
Yep. And it actually sort of acts as character development.
Uh-huh.
Let's see, is there anything back here? Nope.
Yeah, but speaking about influences, and I also mentioned how they kind of had localization in mind from the start. They were actually kind of used both Western and Eastern influences because they wanted the game to sell in Japan as well,
Yeah.
much like Crash has managed to.
I need the blue eco.
You don't have to go all the way back to that charger, right?
That's what I'm trying to find out.
Let me look here. I have it written down what those influences, yeah. So not only the Disney and Warner Brothers cartoons,
Balls of energy on the ground are a type of eco. Pick up 50 small green ecos or one big green one to increase your health.
okay, pretty standard. But they were also looking at stuff like Joe Madureira's Battle Chasers,
Mm-hmm.
Hayao Miyazaki movies, and this was interesting, Asterisk and Obelix, the French comic,
Huh.
which I guess that was kind of the influence for the village he lives in, since that's the basic
Ah.
setting of Asterisk and Obelix, is they're set around a Gaulish village.
You can jump once, then jump again in the air to reach even higher ledges.
Not to and when he mentions the double jump, there is actually a way to jump even higher. Crouch jump.
Ah,
And again, like I said, pretty much all of your movement options they give you right away in this game.
yeah.
Oh, another power cell.
Also know something they did is, so Sony helped them do a lot of research into motion sickness caused by cameras.
Really?
Yeah, so they did a lot of work to make sure that the game was a lot less likely to give people motion sickness from moving the camera around.
Neato.
I'm hoping it works out because we got 3 games to play.
Good training, boys. But that's nothing compared to the challenges that lie ahead.
Then no problem. We got the moves, eh, Jack? We'd love to stay and chat, Big Green, but we're itching to get on with our adventures.
Fine, fine. Adventure away then. And while you're out adventuring, why don't you make yourself useful? My darn green eco collectors are clogged up again. Head out to the far side of the beach and clear them out, why don't you? Follow the lamps. They'll take you right there. Now, all of you, get out of here!
It looked just like a piranha plant.
Yeah, it's one of the ones that would show up in Crash Bandicoot.
Either that or it's Audrey.
Audrey 2.
Yeah, Audrey too.
No,
couldn't
in
remember, there's always
Crash
Audrey
Bandicoot, they do kind of have their own piranha plant things, and that's one of them. Whilst they're definitely piranha plant ripoff, you can instead of opening at the half mouth, it's more of 3/4, and they have a particular way that they kind of bob, the same way that they did in Crash.
It's similar to, but legally distinct.
Never be like his uncle.
Correct. But this is definitely one of those 3D platformers that, you know, I mean, all the Jak games are 3D platformers that encourage exploration because there are secrets everywhere.
Yeah. It's also got the whole open world thing going, which is something they were able to do now that they had the PS2.
Yup.
They'd wanted to do it like
Hey, baby.
in the
What do you say
PS1
you
era,
and I
but
go
it just couldn't
cruising on
handle
this
that.
A-grab zoomer?
Rule number 1, I don't date animals.
Ah, you don't know what you're missing.
Listen, if you need something to keep you busy, my father always talked about an ancient precursor pipeline hidden deep underground. Some of these pipes end in vents from which eco flows freely, and some have been capped off so that the eco is sealed back. There must be a way to turn the capped vents on. I traced part of the pipeline back to the Forbidden Temple. Maybe you should look there for some type of switch.
I have a switch on my media center, though. So we're not going to get to using the zoomer, I'm pretty sure, but just keep that zoomer in mind. Just remember that.
Yeah, I think that was the only vehicle in the first one, right?
Yep. But, well, that and the boats, but...
I think that's another thing where they wanted to do more of, but they couldn't get it in the first game.
You go talk to the villagers and say...
Give me all power cells.
They're always in red boxes.
Looks like there were red boxes!
Yes. Jak and Daxter are renting movies.
No, don't tell me that you two have problems as well. The first I hear of monster sightings near the village, and now this. See those gears up there, boys? See them? See how they're not moving? That means our village has no power. The eco beam coming from the jungle temple has been interrupted. Boys, everyone's too frightened to go out and find out what's happened.
Did you pay the bill?
Hmm? Oh, you're funny. Now look, if you two fix the eco beam, I'll give you a power cell. Oh, and another thing, if by any chance you're interested in making a contribution to my re-election campaign, I might be willing to part with yet another power cell. The minimum contribution is a very modest 90 precursor orbs.
Jak and Daxter starting their theme of politicians being kind of the worst.
Well, hello there, my dear boy.
Hello there.
You've caught me at a most inopportune moment. I was to set off on my journey yesterday, but I seem to be a spot short on the
Very
old
good.
precursor orbs. I would have pledged my word that I had 90 of them, but I gather that your young friend, you know, the little annoying, miserably ugly one, might have just pilfered them as a...
Good thing he's not here right now.
Anyway, would you be kind enough to loan your dear old uncle 90 precursor orbs? So he
Why don't
can
you
get
just
them
use the one right outside your
I
window?
will offer you a power cell in return.
Alright, I won't go around collecting the missions from all of these characters.
Yeah, I don't
But
think we have time for
so
that.
this game, it does rely on audio cues because I can hear that. Yep, there's one of the flies.
Aha.
One of the other things that equips you with is a rolling jump, which makes you jump further.
Ah, there we go.
And another thing that's wonderful is so much of the world is like always visible.
Yeah.
Like you can see part of the jungle from here.
I saw them talking about trying to do that. Make sure you could see things you could actually get to.
So the evil monsters in this game are called lurkers because they lurk.
Makes sense.
Those all-metal boxes
Ah.
are thicker than a yak-owl skull. But there must be something that can bust them open.
Yeah, they're firing a cannon from up there.
Yeah. Who's
Which
just
means-
hanging out firing a cannon at you?
I think there's some lurkers.
All right, treasure.
But that's a way to solve the puzzle, is try to lure them to shoot at you.
Yeah,
I
that
don't-
makes sense.
Hey, that pelican just snagged a power cell. Let's go kick some big bird butt.
One of the nice, and again, one of the things in this game that's just wonderful is there is just so much going on in every part of the game. You know, just on my way to go do some other Sandover Beach stuff, or some under Sentinel Beach stuff, there's all kinds of stuff to encounter still.
I see that. Doing a dance. Seems like it was the thing.
To see what's kind of extra funny is in Jak 2 they do that dance once. Again, I don't think we'll get to it, so I will just talk about it when we I'll talk about it a little here, and I'll talk about it when we should do that episode too, where it kind of is a part of setting the tone of the new game.
Yeah, that's a serious tonal shift for that one. But we can discuss it in more detail later.
Yeah. One thing I do specifically remember about the development of this game and just
Enough orbs to trade for a power cell.
watching some stuff about how it was made is this is one of the earlier games to have day-night cycle.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And I believe they actually based it on a 24-minute system, so every hour is a minute. So basically, every 24 minutes is a full day.
Yeah, I mean, there have been other games that had day and night, but
My collectors.
for like, at least for like 3D preformer stuff, I think this is probably
So much to do, I won't waste your time.
fairly unique.
By the way, if things don't work out, Daxter could always get a job controlling the village rat problem.
So what's extra funny about that is, so Jak and Daxter has had 3 spin-off titles.
Yeah.
2 of them being on the PSP. I think actually The Last Frontier, which is semi-mainline, actually ended up getting ported to the PlayStation 2.
Yeah, I think that's the one I played. I played a demo of it, and I for a while I thought maybe they'd accidentally put the full version on there because it just kept going. A very long demo.
But so the other big thing about that being,
What a weird-looking thing.
the other big thing about that being,
We can get this
oh
open if you
darn it,
want.
my ADHD just made me forget what we were talking about.
There's something about
Now
the
meet me down here
spin-offs.
with the egg.
Oh, so he mentioned him controlling the rat problem. Well,
Yes.
there's a spin-off that
We might
follows
wanna talk to the
Daxter
bird watcher and see if we scramble that flut-flutter.
during a gap in time that we don't see between this game and the next game.
Yeah, I think it's basically well, spoilers for the next episode,
But-
but between Jak getting captured and Dax getting in to rescue him.
Oh no!
But Daxter acts as an exterminator in the city.
Isn't that
Hmm.
cute? It thinks you're its mama.
Ah, I'm not your mom. You see any feathers here?
Love at first sight. Ah. Listen, boys. I'll take this little chick back to the village with me and work with the sage to take care of her.
So also that Flut bird actually will end up being a mount that you can use later.
Oh, that's convenient.
And in Jak 3, in one of the cities, there are actually similar creatures, but more lizard-like, that you can ride. Alright, now that we've done some of the beach stuff, well, we've been going for 30 minutes, so do you want me to go into the Precursor Forest, or do we want to move on?
Do you have enough power cells to do anything?
No.
Alright, because you can get at least one more because you have enough orbs to trade for it.
Yeah, but I think she needs 20 power cells for the zoomer.
Okay, that's not happening. So unless you have a save, I think we're gonna have to.
Well, I'll head back towards Sandover Village, and I think we can just go from there.
Yeah, maybe just turn in one of your requests at least before we stop.
Yeah, we'll go give Jack's uncle some precursor orbs.
Sure.
So with the other ecos in this game, that's not the building. I'll let this happen first.
I see you two are back to make the trade. Good, jolly good. Hey, you have the precursor orbs that we agreed on? I hope you put this hard-earned power cell to good use. Cheerio, ta-ta, bye-bye.
Okay, I was clearly looking at the wrong collectible. It was just when the green eco's outside of his window.
No, I know what you were looking at before. That's the sun. The sun in this game is green.
Oh, I was not aware of that.
Oh, it's wild.
Yeah, that's
all right.
pretty crazy.
Let's do a good old save, just in case I want to come back and play this game.
Sure, that's fine.
And we'll go from there.
So there you go. This is definitely the more standard platformer of the series.
And well, it gets to your standard ice locations, your dark locations, things like that. It does have a bit of a unique charm to it, just in how everything moves in a slightly over-exaggerated style, but not so over-exaggerated that everything is completely unbelievable. But it definitely, this is in the lighter story, you know. The next one really kicks the story into high gear, and is one of the reasons that Jak and Daxter fans are, always just kind of like, so when are we getting Jak 4? Because, like, the way this trilogy is set up, you could straight up you could create, an expanded universe based on this series' lore. It's wild.
I think that they thought about it, but I guess they never ended up doing it. And of course, the studio's a lot different now, so. Yeah,
Naughty Dog would end up, I think after Jak and Daxter, they moved on to Uncharted, which is extra funny because you do a lot of looking for artifacts in the Jak and Daxter games. So in a weird way, it kind of sets up for them doing Uncharted.
Yeah, but I saw for one thing that I noticed is like there's a lot of animation. Jak just about never stops moving. He's not standing there static. He's like jogging in place or something.
Yep. When you come to a stop, he does that little.
Yeah, they always got Daxter like animating as like hanging onto his neck while he's spinning around.
Yep.
So there's definitely a lot of personality in the animation, which is nice.
And it's what makes the series so endearing, even when it does a complete tonal shift in the next game.
Yeah. Well, we'll start to talk about that a bit more.
Oh, absolutely.
So
we'll see that next week on Retro.
Yeah. This is only part 1, baby. We promised you 3 parts.
All right, let's wrap it up so we can.
Okay. Yeah. Why the hell? Okay. I mean, I don't know if there was anything else you wanted to say about the first one before we move on.
I mean, actually, for real quick, so the discussions of the eco, so we saw the blue and the green eco, and dark eco basically acts as a trap in this game. If you fall in it, you die. However, yellow eco actually basically gives you a fireball ability temporarily, and red eco gives you super strength.
Okay.
So that ends up being, the various ecos end up getting worked into different puzzle elements. Like you have to unblock the blue eco vents, and suddenly more parts of the map become available because now you have blue eco in an area that you needed to unlock something.
So it gives you a palette of abilities in more than one sense of the word.
Correct. And this game, and throughout the entire series, which I don't know how much of it we'll see in our playthroughs of this for the show, it's very it has a very Metroidvania feel, but in 3D, because there will be times where you go and do a mission in one area and you kind of see like a door that it just doesn't open.
Yeah.
And then you come back and do a mission down that door. So it has this combination of linear and open world, and also backtracking with also unlocking new areas.
Yeah, like the new abilities opening up new areas.
Yeah, new abilities opening up new areas, or just, an area is now unlocked where there's going to be harder enemies, but you've been better equipped since the last time you were in that area.
Yeah, so you can get more abilities in this one, right? You do get some.
No, you don't get any more direct abilities. It's more that more mechanics get built around you that you then interact with.
I feel like I saw something saying that you start Jak 2 with all the abilities you had in Jak 1.
Yes, because basically all the abilities you had were what I just showed off. The rolling jump, the punch, the spin kick. But Jak 2 goes into more abilities that you can collect and carry with you. Meanwhile, Jak 1 focuses a lot of it on being, you have to find the eco. And it's not like you can pick up the yellow eco and then bring it with you and then use it. No, it's you touch it, you're charged with it. So when you're in a boss fight where you need to use the eco to win the fight, it's being spawned into the area by something.
Okay.
Meanwhile, as we'll see in the other Jak games, you do unlock more direct abilities for Jak. You unlock weapons, you unlock powers, things like that.
Okay.
And a hoverboard, aka the jetboard.
Yes, that's right.
Which we won't end up seeing. It's in Jak 2, but in our episodes we won't end up seeing it till Jak 3, because I actually have a save file in Jak 3 that is later in the game. So once we do a short bit of the opening, we'll jump forward and I'll show you a bunch of the collectibles and powers that you get throughout the game.
Yeah, well, anyhow, if you enjoyed the beginning of Jak and Daxter, which is also the beginning of the Jak and Daxter series, make sure you give this episode a like. If you want to catch the rest of this special, as well as whatever else we end up playing afterwards, make sure you subscribe to our channel. I've been Dan Mastriani. You can catch me on Twitter at NewTechCola.
I'm Ian Butterfield. You can catch me on Twitter at IanG Butterfield. You can find the show at Retro Game CNCT, and Facebook.com/Retro Game Connect and Retro Game Connect, and RetroGameConnect.tumblr.com. Let us know what you thought of the games we played. Let us know if there are any games you'd like us to play. We get our hands on them, we might just play them, or we might throw them in a pool of dark eco.
But most importantly, make sure you join us next time on Retro Game Connect.